Hello, and welcome to another Monday Live. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Just please let me know if you can hear me and see me. I had a problem with my internet, and it said it was unable to connect. So I just want to make sure this stream is going out live. So just let me know if you can hear me and see me, obviously. Right, hopefully, I'm going to keep talking. Hopefully, you guys can hear me and see me. So welcome to another Monday Live where we do a 20 question mock test. Get all your questions answered about the theory test and any driving issues that you guys may have. Again, please guys in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me and see me, just to let me know if it is going out live. Because as I said, I just had an issue with my internet, which has been playing up all weekend, to be fair. Okay, brilliant. Let's say some hellos. Let me change this to this. Jordanes, Nos, how are you? Hopefully you are well. Ebenezer, welcome. Kings, no problem. Welcome. Real authentic Jamaican cooking, how are you? Hopefully you are well. Hopefully the study is going well. Benga, yes, thank you for letting me know you can hear me and see me. Rita, welcome. Cupid World, welcome. Wendy, welcome to you. She plays. Not seen your name before, so welcome. I'm assuming you're, unless you're a silent watcher, but I'm assuming you're new here. Can you get my number? I don't give out my phone number on the live. If you need to contact me, that's going to be via email. So let me just get my program window up. I can't see. 1 second. Right. Okay. Yeah. If you want to contact me, it's by email, which is info@drivingferryuk.com. It's the same as the channel. So info@drivingferryuk.com. And I will try to answer your email as soon as possible. Mitchell, how are you? Enoch, how are you? Bella, welcome. Sunday, hi. Marcelli, hi. Okay, there's quite a few of you on there. So hopefully the weather has turned half decent to where you guys are at. Weekend in Luton was a nightmare with the storms. Didn't actually leave my house, to be fair, until this morning. Eben, congrats. My camera's now playing up. 49 out of 50, so you just missed the magical 50 by 1, but a pass is a pass. I'll definitely take that. And 52 out of 75. So well done to you. And thank you very much for coming back and letting me know how you got on. If you're still here, just let me know what your next steps are. Are you going to take driving lessons or look to book a driving test if you've got driving experience already? Oh, wow. Passed your test today. So again, congratulations to Mr. Magical 50 by 2. Wow. 70 out of 75 on hazard perception. That's brilliant. And you're looking to take, okay, searching for a driving instructor. Yeah, there's a lack of driving, especially in Dudley as well. Yeah, just phone up, ring. There's no harm in going to the test. If you're struggling for driving instructors, go to the driving test centre if you've got some time to spare, and grab the instructors at source. Obviously, if he's had the test pass, he may have the slot, probably have the waiting list anyway, but you never know. And grab them at the test centre. And then welcome. Dolores, welcome. Another pass as well. No problem. Thank you for letting me know how you're getting on, starting driving lessons as well. Brilliant. Got your test tomorrow, Tuesday. If you've got any questions, put it in the chat. Let me answer it. Send you in there a lot more confident than you are now. Again, another pass, Benga. Well done to you. 48 and 61. Mr. Magical 50 by 2. 61's a high score. And you got your driving lesson tomorrow at 10 a.m. Brilliant. Is it your first driving lesson? Or have you had lessons before or with family members and friends? Just let me know. It's interesting. You will be nervous tomorrow. It's always nerve-wracking on the first one, but your instructor should look after you. Blaze Roleplay. Not seen that name before. So welcome to the live. Got your test tomorrow. Again, in the questions, put it in the chat. All right. And Kimmy, hello and welcome to you. Right. So let me, again, for all of you that are new, sorry, I'm just getting caught up in this. I've tried to do that a couple of times. There is some driving videos on the channel. They're old now, probably at least over a year old. I just haven't got the time to record them. I've got to give enough credit to the instructors out there. The ones from, again, Clearview Driving School. Give her props. Francis for Driving School TV. And Conquer TV is the ones that I tend to watch as well, or send my pupils to. Yeah, I just haven't got the time to film it. And if I can't do it properly or do it well, I don't see the point in me doing it. Those guys do it a lot better than I can. And they've got the time because they dedicate their time for that. My speciality is the theory side of it. But yeah, I would love to make driving videos. Who knows, next year, summertime, when evenings are longer, I may get back to it. It takes a lot of cameras in the car as well. Right, sorry, getting carried away. Keep your messages coming. I will pick up on it. So those of you that are new, I always do an overview of the theory test. I never assume that you guys know how it works because some of you are new, some of you haven't even started to study yet. So let me quickly do that. The questions are 50 questions if you didn't know. They're multiple choice. You get one question, 4 options. Normally you pick one out of the 4, and the questions are made up of 14 different categories. If you've watched my videos, I always say understand the questions, understand the answers. It gives you the best possible chance of you passing your theory test first time. The other reason for that is because some of you are still thinking that the apps are the proper questions. So you're memorizing the questions on the apps. The apps are sampled questions. They're licensed by the DVSA, but they're sampled questions. When you go for the real test, the questions are going to be worded slightly differently. And it's going to be questions that you've never seen before as well. So they're made up of 14 different categories, which you can see on here. So I would suggest you do, studying wise, study the categories individually and then work you out to a mock test and then review your strengths and your weaknesses on the, if you're using apps, it gives you your strengths, the best categories and your weakest category, and go from there. In terms of time, you have 57 minutes to do the 50 questions. If you studied before you go in, it's very, very rare someone takes the full 57 minutes unless you have a learning disability, which normally, if you go through the right channels, you can get extended time on that. So no one really takes the 57 minutes. But if you have to take it because you've paid for the time. And if it means passing, taking 56 minutes, for example, to pass it, as opposed to taking 40 minutes and failing it, obviously take the 56 minutes. Once you've clicked end on the 50 questions, you can take a 3-minute break, but not to get up to walk around, just to chill. My advice that I always give all my students is take the 3-minute break. So you're switching off from questions and getting your mind mentally prepared for hazard perception. And the hazard perception is 14 videos. One of them has a double hazard, so you score 2 5s, and 13 of them have single hazards where you score 5. Hazard perception is looking for anything that's going to develop, cause you to slow down or change direction. The click is you checking the mirrors. And for those of you struggling for hazard perception, I will be doing a demonstration at the end of the 20 question mock test to give you an idea of what to do and how to click on that. Once that starts, there's not much you can do. The videos normally last between 45 45 seconds to 60 seconds on that. And then once you need 44 to pass, just to say on that. You need 3 across the board. So by the time you finish the last video clip, your average has to be 3 or more. If it's less than 3, it's going to be a fail. So you need lots of 5s and 4s. Ideally on your double, you need about 8 or a 9 to bring the average up, just in case you've got a couple of 1s or 2s or a couple of 0s. And then once you click finish on that, it prints it out. By the time you get to the reception desk, they confirm who you are. They should give you your paperwork face down. As you walk in, obviously flip it over, and then you look for your name, and it should say congratulations, which means you know you've passed. If it's a fail, it will say I'm sorry to say. And then what you want to do is keep scrolling down the paperwork. It gives you the categories that you got the questions wrong in. So it gives you a breakdown. So for example, it could be road signs 2, roads, motorway rules 3, incidents, accidents and emergency 1, that type of thing. And that's what you want to go back and study again in terms of the individual categories. Do more mock tests to make sure that's not highlighted as your weakness, and then book another theory test. What they are looking for in terms of answers is safety. Same as your driving test, the outcome on your driving test has to be safe and controlled outcomes. It's the same on the theory test. The difference is the theory test is black and white. They're looking for a safe option, always a safe option, or a controlled outcome. And that's normally your, I keep forgetting this every week, first aid. They look for a controlled outcome on the first aid or safety in other questions. On your driving tests, there's safety and unsafe, obviously, and there's grey areas that you have to turn into safety. But on the theory test, there is no grey area. The answer's always going to lead to a safe outcome or controlled outcome. If it's neither one of those, the answer is definitely going to be wrong. Yeah, so controlled outcome. So that's basically the overview of the theory test. Let me just catch up with you guys before we start the 20 question mock test. Wow. Where was we? Let's go with Anim. A big thank you for your videos. 40 out of 50, 66 out of 75. I'm in Lincoln now, but to move to Norwich. Well, yeah, well, Norwich, I don't know what their bus network is like. So get your license so you can drive around in Norwich. Test is on Friday the 13th. Wow. And high noon as well. I hope it's a good luck day for you on that one. Let us know how you're getting on Monday. Maggie. Pass on your question. Everybody's different. Just because you start studying an hour a day doesn't mean say it's a quality studying. So the length of time is down to the individual. Some people can struggle. Some people can study for 10, 15 minutes a day, and that's quality and still be ready. An hour a day, I'm not going to say that's right or wrong. It's down to the individual, but it's got to be quality. There's no point after 35 minutes, the information has not been taken in. So I can't recommend how long to study for. You have to find out what's comfortable for you in that sense. You feel ready for it? Glad you feel prepared? Struggling with some crossings, puffing, toucan. Go on my channel. I've done the video about crossings. Gives you all the crossings and visual clues in there, where I use the app that I use in the car that breaks it down in simple terms. So there is a video on my channel that covers every single crossing on there and gives you the visual clues and the questions to the theory test as well about crossings. Again, Kimmy scored 44 and 53. Congratulations on passing. And again, I've got to thank you for coming back and letting me know. Noble, sad to hear. 42. Well, the has perception, you nailed that. And you got 8 questions wrong. So again, look at the categories that you got the questions wrong in, restudy those. Start to do more mock tests to make sure it doesn't still highlight as a weak category, and then look to book another one. Shins past November the 2nd. Thank you for coming and let me know. Appreciate that. You said the theory test was good. I'm assuming that's a pass. When someone says good, it could be still failed it, but it was good for them. So I'm not going to assume that you've passed it. Let me know what good is. And I'm hoping it is a pass. Right, what I'm going to do is start. I'm going to still carry on with your comments, so keep them coming. Rita. No, 5 attempts. Wow, perseverance. Again, Mr. Magical 50 by 2, 67 out of 75. Congrats. You got your today and you're on the live. Hopefully it's after the live is finished. If you've got any questions, type it in the chat. Any doubts, any concerns, put it in the chat. Let me answer it and send you in there nice and confident. And hopefully some of these questions that we're going to do now will come up in your test later on. So, oops, pull it back. Second. Oh, last week. Congrats, Shins, on passing. Right, let me set this up first. Share my screen. Right, so those of you that are new, what we do here is read the question. So when may you sound your vehicle's horn? And then you go through the options. This is A. Can you see my mouse? Right, this is A. This is B. This is C. And this is D. Please put the question number. So if you think it's 1A, type 1A. So we're on the same page, because there's a delay between me and YouTube and you and YouTube. I always want to make sure we're on the same page. So read the question, go for your option, type it in the chat, and I will keep monitoring what you guys are saying. Oakley. Again, thank you for coming back and letting me know. Lots of passes this week. It's good to know. No problem. And I'm glad you've spoken up, that you're new. Hopefully you learned something. Come back next week. Mary, how are you? Well done to you, Mary. Mr. Magical 50 by 3, but well done. And 55 as well. Congrats on passing. And thank you for coming back. I know you've been here for the last 3 or 4 weeks, picking up on the tips, and obviously it's paid off. So what's your next step now? Are you looking to take your driving lessons or driving test? Are you ready? Let me know how you get on. Virgo Sam passed last month again. Congrats. Hyacinth. No problem. Again, Adi Ola passed your theory test. You had a great lot of passes. Congrats to you guys. A good end to the year, that is. Teresa, welcome. Practical driving lessons in your academy. I haven't got a driving academy for my driving lesson in your academy. I haven't got an academy. I do intensive courses, and I don't do it in Luton anymore, funny enough. I do North London. I live in Luton now. I used to do intensive courses, but there was an issue at one of our branches in North London that asked me to go down there and take it over and bring it back to life. So yeah, I'm actually in North London now. I've also got an announcement for you guys struggling with the theory test. I will do that later on. Let me just catch up with, because you guys are here for the mock test rather than me just chatting and yapping. Demi, that's unfortunate, missed it and you got 8 wrong. Again, I'm not a big fan of booking the test. You got to do you. Obviously, you know what you've done and what you've got, but I'm not a big fan of someone failing this week and booking a test for next week. But that's just me in a personal matter. As I always say to everybody, you got to find what's right for you. Me personally, I would be going off and study a little bit longer than just 7 days. But hopefully it works out for you the next time out. Right, let me just catch up with the questions and answers, and then I'll come back to you guys with the chat. Right, most of you have gone for obviously B. Please put the question number, because it's the first one. I know what number what letter you're talking about, but please put the question number in and then the letter. Right, most of you have gone for B's. Patricia coming through the back door. How are you? What's B? To warn, yes. Vehicles horn and lights, flashing the lights is the same thing. To warn others of your presence. How can you use your vehicle's engine as a brake? Rosemary, another pass. Congratulations. Thank you for letting us know how you got on. What's your next steps? Driving test or driving lessons? Natasha, welcome. Teresa, and again, Mr. You guys are getting high scores this week. 49, unfortunately, didn't get the 50, but well done on the high score, and 60 on your hands perception. Well done. Again, Teresa, what's your next step? I'd like to follow your guys' journey right to the end to make sure you get your license. Kibrom, that's a shame. Again, you got the paperwork. Hopefully, you've gone through the categories that you got questions wrong in. Just restudy those and then go again. I made a silly mistake on how to park on curb on downhill. Well, at least you know where you went wrong. So hopefully don't make that mistake again if the questions come back up, because it will be different questions next time round. Again, missed it by 1/20th of this month, which is a couple of weeks away. Next week is the 16th. So it's actually next week. Next weekend, I believe. But hopefully, again, you've done enough studying to fill the gap. Again, I'm not a big fan of booking it the following week, but as I said, you guys have got to do you. The speed limit end of a dual carriageway, I need to see how the question's worded, but if it's coming off a dual carriageway, it's normally going back into a built-up area, so it's 30 miles an hour. But don't hold me to that, because I need to see the question, how the way it's worded, because the question, the way it's worded will change or relate to a different answer, if that makes sense. But if it's a standard bog question, what's the speed limit coming off a motorway, it's normally 30 miles an hour because you're coming back into a built-up area. There's lots of tips and tricks. You're going to have to watch the videos for that. It's too much for me to go through with that. If you watch the Study With Me series or the Study With Me and Practice Makes You Better series, where I've done all the categories and I'll do the hints and tips and tricks in there. Again, what you need to do with the hazard perception is double check the hazard perception score. It gives you a breakdown of what you got. So how many zeros, how many ones, how many twos, etc., etc. And then you want to see how many low scores you've got. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you whether you click too early or too late. But if you are getting lots of ones and twos, it means you are seeing it technically late. If you're getting lots of zeros, you've missed it altogether. So you want to go back and just have a breakdown of that and go from there. Right, let me do number 2. Let me catch up with the twos. My camera's just going blurry. Right, again, the majority of you gone for D's. Don't see a difference of opinion there. Right, D is the answer. Right, for those of you that don't know, the engine brake, so you use a lower gear because lower gears are power gears but drive the car at slow speeds. So that's the reason why it's this one. Which road users are most difficult to see when you're reversing your car? So which road user? I live in Luton. I need where to book. That's going to be Google. Google any driving school. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which driving school to use. So you need to either go and jump on Google, or like I said, go to the test center and grab an instructor from there. If they have a test pass, they may have a slot for you in that situation. But I do know there's a shortage of instructors in Luton. So if you're looking for next year, I would definitely get on the case now and start booking them up and reserve them for when you want to start, as long as it's not too late into next year. If it's early next year, January, February, they probably do that. March, April, I would, if it was me, I would say come back to me closer to the time. Lissa, congratulations on passing. I'm not a big fan of cramming, but if it works for you, 2 to 3 days, congrats. Let me know what your next step is as well. Again, driving lessons or booking a driving test. Sarah, not seen your name before, so welcome to you, unless you're a silent watcher. Well, someone's gone for a C. Right, that's the ones that's come through. Right, there's a couple of you gone for C's, and the majority have gone for A's. What's C? Motorcyclist. Right. Excuse me. It says which road user or users are most difficult to see when you're reversing. Motorcyclists, based on this, is not the most difficult. It's children. A lot of people don't realize children are road users. So it's anybody who walks out on the road, pavement, because they got across the road, they're classed as road users. So it's not just vehicles as you got to see as road users. You got to see people as road users, and children are the most difficult to see. If children wasn't there, then motorcyclists would be the option. When is fuel consumption at its highest? Teresa. We live in Kettering, March. I booked my practical tests next year, March. I want to start practice lessons. I live in Kettering. Again, I would start to, March is 3 months. Let me know, have you got any driving experience? Because you're cutting it fine with it. If you've got driving experience, then March should be all right. If you've got no driving experience and you booked your test for March, that's cutting it fine, whether you're going to be ready or not. Obviously, you can still move the dates if you're not ready, but with no driving experience, that's going to be cutting it fine. And it also depends how much lessons you're going to have every week, whether it's going to be 2 hours or 1 hour. 4 weeks in a month, 4, 8, 12. 4, 8, 12. Double at 24. 24 hours, March. Yeah, no driving experience, that's going to be cutting it fine. But the most important thing, you have a date, which means you've got a bargaining tool. 30 out of 50, that's 12 questions wrong. That's a lot of questions. That suggests there's a weakness in your knowledge. So what you need to do is go back to basics. Our average in the classroom on a Monday with no studying is 34 to 37. The average mark today was, or the lowest mark today was 37. Everyone got between 38 and 40. No one passed it today on the first day. But yeah, that shows a lack of knowledge. So you need to go back to the drawing board and start to restudy those categories, especially the ones you got questions wrong in. Right, so I'm just trying to find the fours. There we go. This is the first one. Wendy, 4A. Right, some of you gone for A, some of you gone for B's. Difference of opinion. Simply me. Are you back? Are you still in Egypt? Someone's gone for a D. Right, so we've got A, B's, and D's. What's the majority? Right, the majority is A. Right, let's take a look. When is fuel consumption at its highest? When accelerating. Right, let's tick that one for now. When you're coasting. That's a bad driving technique. When you're turning sharply. If it's got sharply in the answer, it's never going to be correct. When you're braking. No, it's when you're accelerating. Because when you are accelerating, even though it may be gently, you're burning fuel. And yeah, because it's called the gas pedal. When we teach as instructors, we call it the gas pedal. So every time you squeeze it, you're burning fuel. So that's when it's at its highest. Why must you take great care when emerging from this junction? I always say if this image is involved, look at the image because sometimes there's clues and then go to your options. I am very well, Infinity. Yeah, you got the 3-day window. You're getting around 43 to 45. That suggests that you still, but from the app I'm talking about, that will suggest you're ready to take a test. Borderline, as long as the questions align for you. Because like I said, the questions on the app are sampled questions. So as long as you can work out which is the safest option from questions that you've never seen before, if you get any questions you've never seen before, you should technically be fine. Because you said you're averaging, or am I reading it wrong? You're getting around 43 to 45 out of 50. You're not failing it. That's a positive. So you can go in there with a bit of confidence. But like I said, what I would suggest you do when you go in there is definitely take your time. Read the questions very carefully. Break it down into smallish chunks as possible. And I'll give an example if one comes up on here. And obviously, you still got time to study, add more studying. But I would definitely go in there and take my time because you're borderline, which means you can't afford to make any silly mistakes. If you don't know the answer, you don't know the answer, that's fair enough. But if you know the answer, but you still click the wrong one by mistake, you can't afford any of those. But yeah, we send our pupils in there with 40 because not everyone is scoring 48, 49s in our course week. So 43, 45s, and they're still technically going to pass because they've been trained to work at the safest option. So I wish you luck with that. Let us know how you get on next week. No, well, if you got to go, you got to go. Just watch the replay. Unfortunately, people have given me their time, so I like to talk to them and get to know them. So I'm not going to rush it just because you got to go to college. So you can either watch the replay. Trying to find the 5s. Where are the 5s? There we are. BMW, hello and welcome to you. Hey, hopefully you are well. Right, most of you are gone for C. Okay, let's take a look at what C is. Yeah, the view is restricted. You can't see clearly. So, yep, stop, have a good look, and then move on. Where would you see this sign? Again, look at the image and then go to your 4 options. I don't know. Birmingham's not in my territory. Again, what I would suggest you do is jump on Google and read the reviews. If you've got any friends or family members who's taking driving lessons, ask if they can recommend their instructor. But unfortunately, I can't do that. Birmingham is not my area. Hello and welcome. Trying to find the 6s. So many of you typing away. There we are. Here's the first one. Right. 6A. Got 6C. So the majority of you are going for C. So I'm assuming it's got to be correct. Okay. Majority is 6C. Someone went for A. At a playground area. You won't see this. This is a school bus sign. I will add, they're starting to put on the rear of a school bus, on the side of a school bus, on the front of a school bus, or on a school bus. As long as it's got the word school bus in it, that's the option you want to go for. On the real test I'm talking about. You arrive at the scene of a motorcycle crash. The rider is injured. When should their helmet be removed? Bowler. 70 out of 75 has perception. Wow, that's amazing. Well done to you for passing. Congrats. Thank you for coming back and letting us know. So the few weeks has paid off. $47 out of 50, 50 out of 75. Thank you, CB. I appreciate that. Again, thank you for coming and letting me know how you got on. There's lots of passes this week. It's amazing. Another pass as well. 49, just missed it by 1, the 50. 68. Wow. Saran, that's no problem. But thank you for coming back and letting me know how you got on. Alim, you've got a test on the 18th, which is next week. I think next week, Wednesday. Study. That's the only thing I can advise you to do. Study, break it down. I would, if you haven't done it already, I would do a mock test. If you're next week, do a 50 question mock test, see what score you get. That's your baseline. If you're passing it, look at the weakest categories that the app has shown you and study those. If you're failing it, then obviously you need a bit more work. But study, there's no shortcut that I can give you. So it's just study, study, study. But if you haven't done mock test, I would do a mock test and get your baseline score. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. I wish you luck with that. Let us know how you get on next week. Another one's got test next on Thursday. And again, I wish you luck with that. Please come back next week. Let us know how you got on. We're looking for number 7. There we go. Here's the first one. And the majority of you have gone for B. So I've got to assume that's correct. Let me just see if there's any difference of opinion. No worries, you're here. That's the main thing. And Rita's gone for A. So the majority is B, but someone's gone for A. Let's just take a look. A would never be straight away. You're only going to remove it if it's essential. In other words, give them first aid or if they need to breathe. The helmet is designed to protect them. If you move it straight away, there's damage underneath the helmet. You're making it worse. So only move it if it's absolutely necessary. When will a new car need its first MOT test? Oh, Teresa, you got driving experience. Hopefully you got quite a bit. Then March is going to be fine if you've got driving experience. But also you would need to keep the lessons up on a regular basis. It's ideally you want to do it weekly. And if you can afford it, do 2 hours at a time, because 1 hour, by the time you get into it, you've got to stop. 2 hours is going to get you more than ready if you've got quite a bit of driving experience. So yeah, March is not a bad time to have it. Just lock down an instructor though. Oh, Gift T, how are you? Oh, just about got the 43, but you passed it. A pass is a pass. So well done to you. Congrats. And again, thank you for coming back and let me know how you got on. BMW, I'm glad you are well. No problem. Not a problem at all. You just got to give it your best shot. You passed the cancellation date, so just give it your best shot. Just because it's short notice, you can still pass it. It's not a problem. If you're worrying about whether it's easy to pass the hazard perception, I would suggest that you need more practice. Because I'll tell you this as well. If you're practicing via the app, they are real life clips. Most of them are real life. When you go for the real test, it's crystal clear. They're CGIs. So the hazards are slightly easier. But if you're worried about it, that would suggest to me, if you was in my classroom, that would suggest to me that you need more practice because you're worried about it. If you're confident with your stuff, you shouldn't be worried. And to me personally, hazard perception is easier than the questions because you don't know what 50 questions you're going to get. Hazard is a hazard. Just what's going to cause you a problem, click, end of. But the questions are always going to be the hardest part to pass. No problem, appreciate that. For Mal, I don't know what you mean by that. Let's make that a bit clearer what you mean by you can add your views also, please. Just make that a little bit clearer for me, please. Right, let me just catch up with you guys. Number 8. I'm assuming that's 23rd of December. If that's the case, he's got another couple of Mondays. And 2 days before Christmas as well. So hopefully it's good news for you. Just keep practicing. Again, if you guys got any questions, please put it in the chat. Let me answer it. Got a test on a Saturday. Hopefully that goes well. Again, no problem joining late. You're here. That's the main thing. Can't find 8s. There we are. Again, the majority of you have gone for A, so I've got to assume that's correct. I'll put that there. 3 years. It's a new car, right? When will a new car? When it's 3 years old, when it's 5, when it's 7, when it's 1. It's 3 years old. Is the correct answer. You're about to start a journey in freezing weather, so the weather's cold. What part of your vehicle should you clear of ice and snow? Sam Training. First of all, say to your wife, congratulations on watching the videos and passing. That's the first thing. And which two softwares you using for YouTube? Want to use for YouTube, please? I'm assuming you mean in terms of software, the app that I'm using is Driving Test Success, which is the desktop version. But it's subscription based where the app is, I think it's a one-off payment, $4.99, so I'll pay for this monthly because I use it on the lives and the videos. And if you mean what I'm using to stream, I use Ecamm Live software to stream it. If you're going to stream, you can use YouTube. I don't think YouTube is the best to stream on, as in their software. And the equivalent to this Ecamm Live, there's StreamYard, which is the basic version. If you want to add all of the bits and pieces that I got on here, Ecamm's the best, but it's a learning curve on that. But it's worth it. If you've got any other questions, ask away. If you want to drop me an email, info@drivingtheoryuk.com. We can chat via email if you want as well. I've got the most amount of time for people who want to help other people as well, give back. Sorry, let me just catch up with guys number 9. Patricia, no problem. Yes, Vimal, yes, they are CGIs on the app, but most of them are old school, so they're real life video clips. On the real test, they're all CGIs, and they're a lot more clearer than the app version, based on the feedback I get from my students. Garnet, how are you? Hopefully you recovered from yesterday's training. Right, here we go. They're the first ones. Right, again, the majority of you are gone for 9s. Oh, 9s for Ds. Right, don't see a difference of opinion on this one. What's the question? Freezing weather, what part of the vehicle? Yeah, it's going to be windows all day long because you need to see. You can't see, then you can't be safe. You're driving in a slow-moving queue of traffic. What should you do just before changing lanes? Don't understand the question. You said you got Akai. You said you got your test booked in January 2025. Is the test a change? You got to rewrite the question so I understand what you're trying to say, please. Robbie, got test tomorrow. I wish you luck with that. Again, if you guys got any questions, put it in the chat. Let me answer it. Right. Again, most of you have gone for these. So let me just double check that. The look for motorcycles filtering through the traffic. Yep. They will bob and weave, so you've got to check your mirrors to make sure you're not going to knock anybody over. There's been a collision. A motorcyclist is lying injured and unconscious. Why should you only remove a helmet if it's essential? And this is what I'm talking about, understanding the questions. This is the same question that we had previously. Only remove the helmet when it's essential, but it's worded differently. So let's see what you guys come up with. I don't do percentages. So I'm assuming when you say 46 and practice is 44, that's got to be a decent percent. I don't do percentages, unfortunately. I just do scores. So it's what it is out of 50 is what you're looking at. In terms of hazard perception, what's your average score on a hazard perception? That's what I would go with as well. If you're in the 50s on or higher, then you're pretty much good to go. It's very rare that someone, unless you freak out in there, if you're averaging 50 and above on the hazard perceptions on your app, it's very rare that I know someone that fails, because like I said, it's real life clips you're using mainly on the apps. When you go in there, it's on a bigger screen and it's slightly slower based on the feedback we get. And obviously it's clearer. So it's very rare that someone fails if you're passing it on a regular basis on the apps. But the questions is always going to be up for debate, because I don't know what 50 questions they're going to throw at you. But I wouldn't stress it. Like I said, just go in there, do the best you can. It's only going to go one of two ways. Pass it, you move on. And if you fail it, you've got a baseline to build on and go from there. See it as a positive rather than a negative. Declan got it on the 14th. I think that's Saturday, isn't it? So I wish you luck with that. Dotman, congratulations on passing. Thank you for coming back and letting us know. 11. Right, here we go. Jenny's Life Diary. I've not seen your name before. And welcome to you. Maybe you're a silent watcher, don't know, but welcome. I wish you luck with that tomorrow. Again, I keep saying it. If you guys got any questions, any concerns, drop it in the chat. Let me answer it while I'm live, and hopefully you can go in there a bit more confident tomorrow or whenever you got your test this week. I must have gone for C's. There's been yeah, removing it could make injuries worse. How do motorways reduce traffic bunching? Gift T. You got driving experience, but you don't drive in the UK. Your next step is to book a driving instructor. I'm assuming you said you got driving experience, so it's got to be in another country. The question you got to ask yourself whether it's a left-hand or right-hand drive that you've been driving in, and if it's the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the road. But you definitely want to book a driving instructor and then get an assessment lesson. If you've got driving experience from another country, get an assessment, and that instructor can tell you your good points and tell you what your weaknesses are that you'll have to change for the UK driving test. So that would be my next step. Get a driving instructor, get an assessment booked, and then go from there. The instructor can feed you what you need to know. Yeah, like I said to you before, if you're getting 43 to 45, it suggests via the app you're ready. But like I said, you're still borderline. So if you got 6, 7 questions that you've never seen before, you would have to get half those questions right to stand a chance of passing. That's the only downside of being borderline. If you're now scoring 48, 49s, 50s on a regular basis, and you get 6, 7 questions you've never seen before, then you're still going to pass with 43. Because even if you've got those 7 questions wrong that you've never seen before, you know the other 43, you're passing. That's the reason why I like my pupils to get 48, 49s. But I can't make that happen all the time in the classroom. No point in stressing. You've got it booked. You're going to take it. You're still in the game at this point. So all you got to do is go in there and pass it. So don't overthink it. Just literally still study. And when the time comes, just go in there. Try to stay calm as you possibly can. You are going to be nervous. That's natural. And then nail it. As simple as that. But at least you're going there with confidence, knowing that you're passing the mocks, which is the main thing. Trying to find the 12s. God, you guys type so fast, it's unreal. But it's good. At some point, the 12s will pop up. There we go. Right, the majority of your Bs. Oh, Rita's gone for a D. Right, the majority is B, so I've got to see. Right, let's do. What did Rita go for? D. How do motorways reduce traffic bunching? D, by using minimum speed limits. No, it's going to be variable speed limits. With smart motorways, this is they can change your speed limit live while you're driving. So if you're doing 70 miles an hour and there's traffic 3-4 miles ahead of you, they can reduce your speed limit to 50. So it takes you longer to get to where the 70 miles an hour traffic was. So by the time you get there, it's less. So it's variable speed limits. When may a passenger travel in a car without wearing seatbelts? A mucker. Just leaving my test center now and I passed. Just leaving your test center. Wow, and you're watching it on I'm assuming the phone as you're coming away from the test center. That's dedication for you. Thank you for doing that, by the way. I appreciate that. And thank you for letting me know how you got on. 44 out of 50 and 67 out of 75. So happy your double click method was really a lifesaver, as I got 10 out of 10 on your double. Well done to you. No problem. And thank you for joining the live, just coming at the test center. I appreciate that. Passed the theory, 45 out of 50. Another pass, congratulations. All right, now I'm with you, Aki. Akai, hopefully I said that correct. The question changes every 2 years, or not all the questions, some of them, to add in, some of them take out. I've not been notified of any changes as yet. So if you've got your test in January, as far as it is, the question should still be the same. I believe the next change is 2026 anyway. I'm sure it changes. The last change was 2024. So the next change will be 2026. But there is no changes planned for January. Otherwise, I'd have been notified. So you're good to go for January based on the questions at this precise moment. You guys are typing so fast. There's so many comments in there. But keep typing away. Don't stop. Here's the first one. Again, the majority of C's. In terms of the theory test, no, because the DVSA don't let that out because they don't want people memorizing it. So any licensed trainer, which I'm one of, only have the sampled questions which they release to us, which you'll find on the apps. But they're not going to release any unseen questions. The only questions I know that's in the test is based on the feedback from my students when they come back to us. And it's not the exact wording either. They just say, oh, this type of question came up, this type of question came up. So that's why I can sort of do the videos and give you hints and tips and tricks on the VAT or the wording. But no, there's nobody has the unseen questions. If they're saying that, they're lying to you. So most of you went for C's. Let's take a look. Yeah, if they're exempt. The other reason they can, not that they can travel without wearing a seatbelt. The other reason for not wearing a seatbelt is reversing. So when you're reversing, you can remove your seatbelt. Is another way of wording the question and options. What would be a serious distraction? The key word is serious distraction while you're driving. Tijam, congratulations on passing. Hopefully, you come back to the storms as well. So hopefully the weather was decent in Egypt for you, and hopefully you didn't get hit by too much of the storms over here. No problem. That's a lot of studying in 3 months. What are you afraid of? Why you haven't booked your theory test? Book it. If you're getting 49, study for 3 months, provided it's quality studying. Yeah, book it. Get it over and done with. Hopefully you can get a date before the end of the year. If not early 2025. But yeah, book it. Denise, wow, long time. How are you doing, Denise? Prince, well done to you in passing. Congrats. Do you have a Vigdone? Am I missing something here? Is that a mistype? Please just make that a bit clearer what that is. 14. Rita, you're welcome. Welcome. Right, here we are. Again, the majority of your B's. Let me just see if there's any difference of opinion on this. Right. B. Yeah, looking at maps old school when we had to use an A to Z. Yeah, looking at maps is a serious distraction. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate? Sonia, they're so tricky question. Please help us on that question. I'm assuming you mean you was relating to a question that's already gone. Yeah, there are some tricky questions on there, but if you stay calm enough, read the questions 3 or 4 times. Sometimes there's clues in the question or clues in the answers. It's when you guys go in there stressed out and don't see the obvious staring in the face. I'm not going to say there's no tricky questions. The fairy test is written and worded badly as well. We've been campaigning for years to get clarity on the way they write it, but they've not done that. And I can't see them change that anytime soon, especially for someone who's got learning disability, someone like myself who's got dyslexia. Even in the classroom, I still read the question 3 or 4 times before I give the students the answers, because I've got to decipher the words and make sense of it in my way. So yes, but you've got to stay calm enough to read it 3 or 4 times if necessary and do process of elimination if that still doesn't work. Sending that some love. We're on 15, right? That's a B. It's gone for a B. But most of you have gone for D. Oh, another B as well. It's gone for a B. Right, the majority of you are D's. Right, let's take a look. What was B? Because trams can't stop for cars. Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate because trams can't stop? Because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. This is the safest one because trams can't steer, they run on tracks. So this is why it's not because trams can't stop for cars. It's because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. They can word it slightly differently. Who's most at risk to trams? And the common answer on the real test I'm talking about is cyclist. So just in case you guys get that question when you go in there. What does this sign mean? Again, take a look at the image. There's clues on there. And then go to your options. Someone else said that to me before in the past because I things have got to be broken down very, very simple for me. So when I teach, I try to do the same thing for other people. It just makes it a lot easier for them. So I tend to teach the way I like to be taught. So yeah, there's some truth in that. Even when I'm teaching the driving, I keep it very, very simple. God, you guys are quick now. Now you're coming through quickly. Right, most of you D's. Let me just see if there's difference of opinion. Nope, all D's. Pass either side to get to the same destination. So this sign will probably be like on a wide one-way road with an island in the middle. So it means you can pass on the left. Let me just make sure. You can pass on the left and you can pass on the right, still end up in the same destination. So that's what the sign means. Another sign, another blue. What does this sign mean? Yeah, arrows facing left, facing right. Pass either side. Just look at the clues. I'm going to do a demonstration at the end of 20 questions, so stick around for that. I would suggest if it's 3 times, that means you've got 3 paperworks. Look at the has a perception category and look how many zeros, ones, twos, and threes that you've gotten. If it's lots of zeros, lots of ones, if it's lots of zeros, first of all, you're missing the hazard altogether. If it's lots of ones and twos, it means you're clicking too late. That's what I would do, is revisit the paperwork so you've got an idea of where you're going wrong. And stick around at the end. I'll do a demonstration for you. Unfortunately not. Manchester's well out of my zone. So again, like I've been saying to everyone else, jump on Google and type in driving instructors in your area and then start jumping on the phone. Especially if you're looking for lessons early next year, I would get my instructor locked down this side of Christmas, because there are a shortage of instructors. So you really want to get your one booked in for next year, so you know when next year comes, you're sorted. Again, a majority have gone for B, just to make sure no one's... Right, most of you gone for B. It's a mini roundabout. Yeah, there's no other way to explain it. It's just mini roundabout. You're on a country road. What should you expect to see coming towards you on your side of the road? That's a good question. A belly. 50 on the multiple choice. Congratulations, got the magical 50. Ding, 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 ding. And well done to you. And 60 has perception, another high score. Right, so what are you doing now? Looking for driving lessons? Or are you looking to book a driving test? What area are you in, out of interest? Rita, 48 out of 50. 48 out of 75. Right, with that, before you take the next attempt, I will still revisit the hazard perception, because 48, you need 44. So that's very close to borderline. Ideally, the lowest score you should be... A pass is a pass on hazard perception, let's be real. But ideally, you want 52, 53 is a half decent score. But 48 is borderline. If you missed 5, you would have failed it. And with the multiple choice, 27 out of 50, there's a serious lack of knowledge with that 27 out of 50. You need to go back to the drawing board and revisit. Again, go back. I wouldn't even bother look at the categories that you got questions wrong in, to be honest. I would literally go back to the beginning and do the individual categories on the apps, and then work your way back up to 50 question mock test and pass that on a consistent basis. Please tell me you haven't booked another one. Just type in the chat that you haven't done one, you're going to do more studying. That's what I would do. Go back to basics, because 27, that's more than half the questions, almost half the questions. That's, yeah, like I said, in the classroom, on the average 34 to 37 on a Monday morning. 18. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but you've got to be real to learn from the mistakes. Right, you guys have started off. We've got a B, we've got an A. Let's do the B again. Got a B, got an A, and then we've got a D. Right, now you guys are set down on Ds. Oh, you live in Kent. Whereabouts in Kent? Just again, out of just interest, just whereabouts in Kent? Because you've got two test centres down there. I just want to know which part are you in. And the two test centres I'm thinking about are not the best test centres to be taking a driving test. Oh, you booked a driving test. All right, what test center did you book it at, if you don't mind sharing? No problem, Rita. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Just go back to basics and go again. Right, most of you have gone for a D. You see, you have booked one. Like I said, I could read your mind. That's what most students do. You fail it and think, right, I'll just book another one. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let me just deal with this number 18. Right, you're on a country road. What should you do? You guys have got, one was A, horses. The other one was, I think it was B, motorcycles. It's on the wrong side of the road. Sorry, let me read it again. You're on a country road. What should you expect to see coming towards you on your side of the road? It's pedestrians. It's actually in the highway code. It's a law. If you're walking in the countryside, you need to be walking on the driver's left, walking towards them. That's another question. Where should the pedestrians be walking? Away from the driver or towards the driver? You should be walking towards the driver on their side of the road so they can see you clearly. That's why it's pedestrians. To be honest, motorcyclists, horse riders, as bicycles will be on your side of the road if they're coming. Yeah, they'll be on your side. They won't coming towards you on the wrong side of the road. What must you do if your ability to drive is impaired during a period of illness? Right, let me just deal with some of these questions. Right. Infinity, you are allowed to take your test in your own car. It's got to be learner's insurance. There's a difference between temporary insurance. That's a cover note. Technically, temporary insurance is a cover note. That's for full insurance holder. So you're not looking for temporary insurance. You're looking for learner insurance. Asking as I had not. I'm assuming you've got no tax. Right. First and foremost, right, if you haven't got a tax, you need MLT, theory test questions. You need MLT, first and foremost. Then you need insurance. It's going to be learner insurance. And then you're going to need to tax your car. That's what you need. Now, when you go for a driving test, they're going to ask you to declare your car's insured. So you're going to sign the paperwork to say you're a UK resident and your car is taxed for the driving test. So like I said, learner insurance. If you pass the test, you cannot drive back. So take that into consideration. So the person next to you obviously got to be a legal driver. They would have to drive you back, but make sure they've got insurance to drive your car back, because once you pass that driving test, you're no longer a learner. So you're breaking the law. If you got stopped driving home, your license is gone within that space of time, because you're going to have 6 points in your license. So let me just repeat that. Yes, you can take your test in your own car. You need learner's insurance. But if you pass your driving test, you cannot drive your car back unless you make a phone call from the test center to your insurance company to change it over for you, which they can do there and then. But obviously, you got to pay for that as well. Yeah, and like I said to Rita, I knew that you would have booked one. That's common. Fail it, have a go, another go. But the question is, the more goes you have, the more money it's costing you. I know it's only £23, but £23 can go to a Christmas present. What are we on? 19. Oh, Herne Bay. Okay. It's a little bit further out than I thought. I thought you were more like Erith and Belvedere side of things. All right, 2nd of January. That's not too bad. So you got 3 weeks. Take Christmas out of the equation. You don't want to be studying over Christmas period. So that's not bad. Then you got a little bit of time. So you need to put in some work. But like I said, go back to basics. Do the categories individually. And then once you've done the categories, do mock tests to make sure there's no weaknesses showing up. So you should be passing them on a regular basis. And the weak categories shouldn't be the same categories all the time. So let's just say it was road signs. If you took 4 mock tests, your weakest category should not be road signs 4 times. If it is, there's still a weakness in that knowledge. It should be different every time. So yeah, you got a bit of time. So at least it's not around the corner. I'm trying to find the 19s. There we go. And most if you've gone for B. Again, let's just make sure there's no difference of opinion on this. Right, all B's. What must you do? Stop driving. Yeah, stop driving so you're fit to drive again. Last one. Oh, this is wordy. You are the first person to arrive at an incident where people are badly injured. You've switched on your hazard warning lights and checked all engines are stopped. What else should you do? Clement, first time here. First of all, welcome. You need help with motorway reflective studs. Have my test tomorrow. Jump on the channel. Look for, I've got a video on it. Look for motorway studs, and it's about 2-minute video, and it gives you a very simple way of knowing the studs. A very simple, easy way. So jump on the channel, look for motorway studs, 2-minute video. Watch it before tomorrow, and you're laughing. Again, most of you'll see, so let's just take a look. C, ABC. Make sure the emergency service has been called. That's the biggest mistake that people make. They think someone else has done it. So yeah, pick up the phone. Emergency service don't mind how many times the 999 calls come in, because they're going to get live updates each time. So yep, that's definitely what you want to be doing. Right, I know it's small, but I always do this every week to show you what I was talking about at the beginning of the live, for those of you that was here at the start. The 50 questions are made up of 14 different categories, which is on your app. So I'll just give you a breakdown. Remember, this is a 20-question mock test. So road and traffic signs, 3. Safety margins, 2. Vulnerable road users, 4. Safety in your vehicle, 2. Hazard awareness, 3. Incidents, accidents, and emergencies, 3. Documents, 1. Motorway rules, 1. And other types of vehicles, 1. So the highest on there was vulnerable road users, 4. So imagine that your vulnerable road users category was weak. If you got 4 wrong, for example, because it was weak, that would have mean, if 20-question mock test, that would have been you failed. If it's your real test, 4 out of 50, that leaves you 46. So you're already down to now 46. That's why I keep saying, study the categories, because they need to be strong. You don't know what the makeup is going to be of your drive or your theory test. So that is the reason why. Right, there's just something I need to tackle before we go any further. Well, if you're talking about your driving test, you can book your driving test anywhere. You don't have to take it in the area. But obviously, if you go outside of your manor, you probably don't know the area. I'm always a big fan. If you can drive safely, you can drive anywhere, but you still need to stack the cards up in your favor. In other words, give yourself the best possible chance by knowing your test route area. But if you have to go outside, I know a lot of people are doing that because the driving test times are very, very long. So some people are willing to travel outside the area. But yes, you do need to have someone who can legally drive. Theory test question, over 21, and have the license for 3 years or more. And like I said, you have to have learner insurance because you're going there as a learner. So if I'm taking someone in my car, i.e. I'm a driving instructor, my car covers learner drivers. But once they pass, they cannot drive back. So I'm driving back because they're not a learner. My insurance do not cover them to drive back. And to be honest, you don't want to be driving back anyway. Even if you could change your insurance over there and then, I wouldn't, because you're on cloud nine. You're buzzing. You're not going to be focused as you should be. You're likely to have an accident at that point in time. Same thing if you failed the driving test. The last thing you do is drive back because you're going to be disappointed. So you definitely want the person next to you to drive back so you can come down for cloud nine or just feel sorry for yourself on the way home. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Let's just see if there's any comments or questions in there. Yes, that's what learning insurance is for. That you can I drive my provisional? Yes, because that's what that's what your provisional license is for. What you got to understand, the difference between a full license, which is what I've got, a learner license or provisional license, which you guys have, is that I don't need to have a driver next to me. You need a supervisor driver next to you. That's the only difference. It's really strange how, like in the classroom today, for one of the students didn't realize they're going to drive on the main road. They thought they're going to go into a car park and start there. You are legally allowed to drive on the road, but you have to drive with supervision. Your license doesn't change anything. You're just learning your skills and arts with a supervisor. What you're doing the first day, just in case you guys don't know, because a lot of people don't realize this, it's only when I speak about this in the classroom on the Thursday, when we break down the driving test, the first time you're going to drive on your own is the day of the driving test. So you need to get your head around that. So let me repeat. The first time that you drive on your own is the day of the driving test. The difference between a driving lesson and a driving test, your instructor can bail you out. They can ask you, did you see the sign? What's the speed limit? Did you check your mirrors? Blah, blah, blah. The examiner's not asking you none of that. Because if you don't check your mirrors, guess what? He's marking it down. If you don't see the speed limit, he's going to mark it down for going too slow if you're driving well under, or too fast, which you're breaking the speed limit, which means you're going to fail. So you're driving on your own on the day of a driving test. That's why the examiner needs to see that. And if you can prove to him that you can drive safely on your own, that's why he's giving you the license to say, keep doing what you just showed me. That's what the driving test is about. So yes, you can drive with your provisional. Yes, you can get your learner insurance as well. No, I wouldn't do that. You've had 40 hours of driving in the past, hence the key word there is past. So it's a little while ago. In your own car, that's fine, not a problem. I wouldn't be brushing up again. I can't remember who it was earlier on in the live. I would book an instructor and get an assessment lesson, because as much as you can get a family member or friend sitting next to you, they're not driving instructors. They're not going to pick up on little stuff the examiner will pick up. So I would be getting an instructor first and then do an assessment lesson, and they can tell you what is good, keep it the way it is, and what needs changing that the examiner won't accept. If you go there just brushing up, the question is, what are you brushing up? You're not a driving instructor. You don't know. Only an instructor can guide you that way. A family member would just say, I do it like this. It doesn't mean to say they're doing it the way the examiner wants it done. Because when I'm teaching someone to drive, I don't teach them to drive like me. I just teach them to drive safely, full stop. That means they're passing their driving test. For me to teach someone, say, no, do it like this, it's not right. The reason being because we're all different. The examiner doesn't care what you do, how you do it, as long as the outcome is safe and controlled. But there's certain things he will not accept, and you need an instructor to show you that. You may not need a lot of lessons. If it's not a lot to change, you may not need a lot, but get the instructor to guide you. No problem. Yeah, just answer that one, Rita. Oh, you missed the magical 50 by 1. Congratulations on passing, 58, 75. Well done. Thank you for coming back and letting me know how you got on. Appreciate that. Right, so hazard perception. Let me just get my iPad out. First of all, Bella, I can't answer that because I don't know you. So I don't know what studying you've done, what marks you are getting. Based on what you're saying, because you don't know if you should change it, I'll change it because it means you've got a doubt. The last thing you want to do is go in there with a doubt because you already told yourself that you're going to fail it anyway. That's the reason why you think about changing it. Change it, push it back. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can't tell you whether you should leave it or change it because I don't know you. I don't know what work or studying you've done with that. That's a decision that you have to make. The question I'll ask myself though, before you do change it, are you passing it on a regular basis? If you are, probably leave it. Similar to what I'm saying to Infinity, if you're passing, have a go. Because you have to take it some point. There's no guarantee you're going to pass it first time if you change it to 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now anyway. But if you're not passing the mock test on a regular basis, and based on what you're saying about thinking about changing it, I would change it because there's too much doubt there. No, 3 weeks ago, but thank you for coming and letting me know how you got on. I fully appreciate that. Because it's nice to know that you guys are passing, so the videos are helping. Or the live streams are helping as well, since I haven't made any videos in a long time. And obviously the videos can help you pass if you have failed it by just going back to the drawing board. Again, like I said, only you can answer that. Before the 3 days, was you passing on a regular? But that's the baseline I'd ask myself. Was I passing 3 days ago on a regular base? Not 1 out of 4, not 2 out of 5. If I'm passing 3 or 4 times out of 5 mock tests, then I would probably leave it. Just because you haven't studied for 3 days doesn't change anything. Assessment lesson. Just say to the instructor that you can drive, you've had X amount of hours, you're looking to book a driving test, but you would like an assessment lesson on what you need to brush up on. And they should give you a detailed breakdown of your driving. And ideally, again, it depends on where you live. It depends on instructors. If it was me, I'd look for a 2-hour lesson. And I would, if it was me as an instructor, I'd take that student to the test center and I would do it live. That's what I do for my students on the intensive course. We go to Tottenham Test Center on a Wednesday or Thursday, depending on their standard. And I do a live assessment to know what they can or can't do from the test. It gives you a better idea rather than just driving blind. But if your test center is miles away, then obviously that's not going to work. But it's better to do it on a test route. I'm assuming that you mean the ferry test you passed a long time ago, or is that the driving test? Well, if you're getting 49 out of 50, if you're getting 49 and 50s, then there shouldn't be a question of changing it. That's a high mark. You can't get much higher than 50, so you're good to go. Just because, like I said, if you haven't studied for 3 days, it doesn't change anything. Because if the knowledge is there, knowledge is there. It's not going to disappear after 3 days. But again, only you can answer that. Don't take my advice. Look at yourself, ask yourself questions, and then be honest with yourself, which is the key. '21st of December, you got another few weeks. Hopefully it's a good Christmas for your passing, Ben. I think the 21st is a week, Saturday, I think. No problem. Right, what I'm going to do is a hazard perception video. So let me quickly do this. I always show you this now when I remember. iPad. So for those of you who are taking driving lessons, let's get rid of the comment. The hazard, sorry, for those who do taking a theory test, looking to take driving lessons, the hazard perception is related to you checking the mirrors, just in case you didn't know. So when you're watching the video, obviously you're seeing it through the windscreen and you're just seeing the car move. You're looking for anything that's going to cause you to slow down or change direction, shift left or right. So it's going to be a mirror check. On the videos, obviously it's a click. On the driving test, you check in the mirror. So if you're slowing down straight, it's just the main mirror. And if you're shifting left or right, it's going to be the main mirror plus the wing mirror. So if you look at box 13, this is a driving test report sheet. So the examiner's got this, they've gone to iPad, so it's on their iPad. And so if you look at box 14, the mirror section, before you signal, change our direction, and change the speed. The mirrors are massive for a driving test. That's the reason why they introduce hazard perception. So you see a problem, you click, i.e. check mirrors. So that's what you're looking for. On the hazard perception, there's two types of problems. There's the developing hazard, which is the one you're looking for. That's going to cause you the problem to slow down. And there's potential. It could have caused you a problem. For those of you that review the videos back, you've got the yellow circle for potential and you've got the red circle for the developing. So I'm going to quickly do a demonstration. I'll come out of that. As a perception. So let's just choose one that's not got a star. All right, let's do this one. So I'm going to tell you what I'm looking at and what I'm clicking. Remember, I go for a 2-click method. So I click when I see the problem and I literally go 1, 2, and then I click again. Right, so I'm looking as far as I can see. There's a car coming from the left in the snow, so I'm going to click. There's a van coming from the left as well, click. I'm going to click one more time. So that's the one that's caused me to slow down. That's the one I'm going to get marked on. But you still keep clicking just in case it's one of your double videos. So again, I'm looking into the bend. There's nothing for me to click for. I can't see round the bend, so I'm going to click on that if I can't see because the lorry's there. And as I said, this is a CGI one, so it's a lot crystal clear. And obviously you're doing it on a bigger screen come the day of your theory test. And you're doing it with a mouse, by the way, 4 out of 5. So you're doing it with a mouse on the day. You just click, there's no cursor. You click, it just registers the flag. So what you guys should be doing once you've done your videos, for those of you struggling with hazard perception, is review it back. Most of you just see the score, I got 0, and then do it again. Review it back so you can see where you should be clicking. Let me just speed up to save time. So remember the first click and the second click was for the car. It was potential. I don't know it's going to be a problem. So it's a potential. That's why I clicked with those 2 clicks. And the second one was for the van, I think it was. Right, so let me just show you. There's my first click in the 4, right there. And the second one is probably 3 or a 2. There, it's a 2. They'll always give you the highest mark. So there's no benefit in clicking once. So if the first one landed in the 5, the second one landed in the 3, for example, similar to what I've got here, they'll always give you the highest mark. They're not going to downgrade you. So that's the reason why you want to go for 2 clicks, just to cover yourself, just in case the first one was too early and you got 0. It's not about you seeing the problem. It sounds weird. It's not about you seeing the problem. It's about you getting a score, because you can see the problem all day long, nice and early. But if you don't get a score, it means nothing. Treat it like a game. This is what I say to my students in the classroom. Treat it like a game where you're trying to get the highest marks possible, rather than, oh, I see the problem, click. Think to yourself, yeah, I've seen it, but did I get a score? That's how you want to look at it. So let me just deal with these comments. Let me come out of this. Okay, hopefully you get it. Don't stress out about the test. Just literally go do it, be confident, and come back and let me know that you pass next week. I just checked my results. I have 3 1s, 1, 2, and the rest are 3s and 5s. So let me just try to do the maths on this. I have 3 ones. 1, 2. So that's 4. Right, so you got 3 ones. So the score's low. That's the reason why you got 40. I think it was 48, I want to say. So the 3 ones have brought your average down. Remember, you need to average 3 or more. You're already -6 if you got 3 ones. If that makes sense. And you got 1, 2. Again, you're -1 on that one, and the rest are 3s and 5s. And now the question is how many 3s? So technically you got 4 videos under 3, which is fine, but you're not getting enough 4s and 5s to bring your score up to 50s. So all I'm saying is don't neglect the hazard perception. I know you got low in the questions, but don't neglect the hazard perception, because you'll be gutted to study for the questions and then you fail the hazard perception. You need to get your scores up. So get more 3s, 4s and 5s. I can't tell you which one's the best. I can only tell you which one I use, because I can't recommend stuff that I don't use. So I use the driving test success. That's what we use in the classroom. That's what we get most success with. But all the apps, as long as you pay for them, to be fair, are going to be pretty much the same, because they're all licensed. So the questions are all going to be the same. But I can't recommend something that I've not tried and tested. It wouldn't be right. But I use the driving test success. But I clicked 6 times and I got cancelled. Yeah, of course you did. It depends on how many times you clicked on one problem. If you click 6 times, literally click, 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 which is spamming, they're going to kick you out. If you click in a rhythmic pattern, they're going to kick you out. So it's just because you click 6 times, it doesn't mean to say you're going to be okay. But if you're clicking 6 times on one problem as a spam, they see it as an issue. That's the reason why. Can you explain the 2-second click? Yeah, simple. See the problem, click, count 1, 2, click again. So literally as soon as you, I'll do another demonstration in a minute. So as soon as you see the problem that you think is going to cause you an issue, you click on it and you go 1, 2, click again. Literally that speed. Don't go click, click. It's just click 1, 2, because you're trying to spread the flags out to get a score. Remember, it sounds weird. It's not about you seeing the problem. Let me do a demonstration and show you what I'm talking about. It's not about me seeing a problem. It's about me getting a score. That's the most important one. So let me just quickly do a demonstration for you and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And let me just make sure there's no other comments on that. What you've mentioned there is 3 clicks. If you want to go for 3 clicks, that's fine. So you go click 1, 2, click again, 1, 2, go for 3 clicks. I teach 2, but you can do 3. It's not a problem as long as you're clicking on things that exist. Yeah, all you got to, as long as you got the plastic license, that's all you got to do is bring your provisional license. You can't take anything. Go light. What I mean, don't take your bags, a whole lot of bags and stuff, because you can't take anything into the room with you. That all gets locked up in the locker. If you wear lots of jewelry, chains, I would leave it at home that particular day, because you've got to take all of that off and pull it. Even hair bands, you've got to take off and leave in the locker. They take their security really seriously. Sally Matter, well, first of all, welcome to the live. And Joel, you got your test tomorrow. All right, let me see if I can find one that I could mess up on. Hold on 1 second. Real life. All right, so I'm gonna mess up on this one. Okay, let me just share my screen so you can see it. Right, so I'm gonna click early on this. I'm probably going to go for 1 click as well. So road signs, 30 miles an hour. If he slows down, I need to, sorry, if he speeds up, I need to check my mirrors to make sure no one's going to pass me and fill the gap. So when you're watching the video, you should be watching left and right when you're driving in real life as well, from pavement to pavement. So where that blue shop is, if a car was there, I would click on it, but there's nothing there, no need to click. So again, the side roads to my left and the petrol station to my right, nothing there. Woman crossing. So I've seen the woman crossing the road early, so I've clicked on that. That's the one that's caused me to slow down. That's the one I'm going to get marked on. I know there's only one hazard on this one, so that's why I'm not clicking again. Normally you just keep clicking just in case it's your double. So I've got a 0 out of 5. Let's just review. Let's speed up to save time. Right. Let me just rewind it back if I can stop at the right place. Right, there's my click. As I called it, I said to you, I saw the woman looking to cross. There's the circle. I have clicked on it. I've seen it. It means nothing because I got a 0. And that's the reason why I keep saying it's not about seeing. It sounds weird. It's not about seeing. It's about getting a score. Now, let me do the video again the way it should be done. Right. So again, speed limits. If he's going to speed up, I need to check my mirrors to make sure no one's going to fill the gap. So 2 clicks. So again, when scanning the road, you want to be scanning from pavement to pavement. This is for your driving lessons as well. Don't just keep looking ahead. Look at the side roads, people walking in between cars, car doors opening. So I'm looking. The woman looking to cross the road, blonde hair, click. 1, 2, click again. Just in case if you want to go again, you click again. So it's 3 clicks, similar to what Infinity said. We all know that's the one that's caused me to slow down. That's the one I'm going to get marked on. So we just let the video play out. Review the clip. What did it give me? I think it gave me 5, but let's speed up the process. And if I can pause it at the right time. Right, there's my first click. Similar to the first one. There's my first click. I've seen her, right? But remember, it's not about me seeing the problem. It's about me getting a score. So I go for a second click just to make sure I get a score. There's my 5. I went for a third click, which Affinity was talking about, just to make sure. There's a 3. It gave me the highest mark possible. I repeat, if I went for the first click, let me just rewind it back to show you. If I left it at the first click, I've seen it, it means nothing. Nothing at all. You need to go for a minimum of 2 clicks. And that's the reason why I teach a 2-click method, because you need to get 5s and 4s all the way through to get your average above 3. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me just come out of this quickly and then see what you guys are saying. Right, hopefully that's, if your passing has if you're passing the multiple choice, that's fine. Still keep practicing the questions, because the questions are going to always change every time you go for a test. So hopefully my demonstration, as just explained, go for 2 clicks, not 6 clicks on one problem, because it's going to think you're spamming. Sally Matter, the question I got asked yourself is, why are you discouraged? If you can type in the chat before we sign off, let me know so I can sort that out. That's a mindset thing. Right, okay, sorry, I just saw your other message. Right, okay. Your passing has a perception. Right, what you need to do, 4th test. Right, what you need to do is get the paperwork they gave you. So you've got 4 tests, you should have 4 paperworks. Hopefully you didn't throw it out. And this goes for all of you. If you've taken multiple tests, even if it's just one and failed it, do not throw the paperwork. So many times I've seen students screw the paper and throw it out. It means nothing. You need that. That's data. That's giving you information to your weaknesses and your strengths. So what you want to do, Sally, is literally this. Get your 4 pieces of paperwork, lay out on the table, floor, bed, side by side, hopefully in date order as well. That's how you want to do it. Literally do it in date. So first test, second test, third test, fourth test. Go down to the paperwork and look at the categories. What you're looking for is common denominator. So for example, if you got road and traffic signs on all 4, that means you got a weakness with road and traffic signs. If it's vulnerable road users on all 4, it means you got a weakness. So you now know you need to study road and traffic signs again. You need to study vulnerable road users again. If it's different categories on all 4, so there's a mixture on all 4 and no common denominator, it means you got a general all-round knowledge problem. So you need to go back to basics and study each individual category. So that's what you need to do. That paperwork, those paperwork they gave you is data. Use it to make your strengths stronger, or your weaknesses, stronger. And that's what you do. This is for everyone. Yes, it can be discouraging because you failed it X amount of times, but it's knowing what to work on. And I've just given you that information with that. So hopefully that helps you out. Ilford, wow. 20 of February, that's a little while away. So you've got plenty of time to study. And hopefully it goes well for you. I do, because I train myself to do 2-click method. If you do 3-click method, it's not a problem. But the only reason why I don't do it, because think about it, if I click on 2 potential problems, I've got 4 clicks. If you click on 2 potential problems, you've got 6 clicks. So my concern when someone does 3-click method is if you click on things that don't exist. My camera's just gone, but I'm still here. I think my cable's going. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. So what I'm saying is, let me just turn this off and turn it back on. Hold on 1 sec. Right, there you go. I think my cable's going on my camera. I've got to change that before next time. Sorry. So what I'm saying to you is, so if I click on 2 problems, it's 4 clicks. You click on 2 problems, it's 6 clicks. There's not a problem with that as long as you're clicking on things that exist. If you click on things that don't exist, you can now be running up too many clicks. That's my only concern with a 3-click method. But I keep saying it, you have to do you. If you're comfortable doing 3 clicks and on problems that exist, and again, I'll do a video, another demonstration, show you what I'm talking about. Because some of you are sitting there thinking, what's he mean if it exists? Then you can add up to too many. That's my only concern. But like I said, practice makes you better. You should be practicing your skills. So if you want to work with 2 clicks, work with 2. If you want to work with 3, work with 3. But you're trying to perfect your art. So when you go in there on the real test, when you're going down the real test, you've got it mastered. Simple as that. Again, you're not getting it. I just said to do a 2-click method. I did not mention 6 or 7 times. All you got to do, this is for all of you, and I've seen this a lot. Right, let me explain again. Let me try to keep it very, very simple. The video has hazards, right? They've got some, like the speed limit sign. Let me just show you, since I've got the video up in front of me. iPad. Right, so let me just rewind this back so you can see what I'm talking about. Right. There you go. Hopefully you can see that, right? The amber circle has circled the speed limit. It's a potential problem. They're in the 20 zone. That's the reason why it's got 30 there. So they're in the 20 zone. If the car speeds up in front to go to 30 miles an hour, someone can overtake me quickly because remember, you'll learn the driver and fill the space. That's why it's potential. So you click on it. 2 clicks. So I'll show you with the video. 2 clicks. No 6 or 7 times, just 2 clicks. And then you move on to the next problem, which was a woman crossing the road. Again, let me quickly show you. Again, see the yellow circle? That's potential. If a car was coming out the petrol station, you could click on that because the car can cut you up. Because there's no cars there, there's nothing for me to click on. That's why I'm saying that doesn't exist as a problem, because there's nothing for me to hit. Again, no 6 or 7 clicks. Moving on to the woman crossing the road. Right, there's the first click for the woman. I do a 2-click method. There's my second click in the 5. And I've done what Affinity was talking about with the 3-click method, which is nothing wrong with that as long as it exists. There's a 3-click method. No 6 or 7 times. It just so happened to be in this video, it turned out to be 5 clicks. If another video has 4 problems, it would turn out to be 8 clicks. If another video had 5 problems, it turns out to be 10 clicks. Every video has a different amount of hazards. You don't want to be counting your clicks. That's a dangerous method to do. Do not count your clicks other than 1, 2 for 1 hazard, if that makes sense. Once you start counting, oh, you got 10 clicks to play around with, 5 clicks to play around with, you're asking to fail the test. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me just quickly see what you guys are saying. Vitae. Right, hazard perception's fine. No, I never think anyone's ready to do it straight away. If they failed it, you failed for a reason. You got 8 questions wrong. The reason why you're asking me that is because you see it as I failed by 1. You only need 1 to pass. Yes, that's true. But you need to look at the bigger picture. You still got 8 questions wrong. Right, there you go. Right there. That's the reason why you don't go again. You've done, I read this, this is a prime example. Hopefully, let me come out of this so you guys can see it. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Right, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. I'm not picking on you, Vitae, but this is a good learning comment that you made. I got 42 on the multiple choice, 62 on the hazard perception. So data, first and foremost, 62. Congratulations. You're good to go again on the hazard perception. That's a high score. Even if you fall short next time, it should not be falling short under 44. But you got 42. When you get 42 questions, or even if you pass it and you got 44, you still got 6 questions wrong. In this case, you got 8. Most students look at it, oh, I got 42. I only need 1 to pass, so let me book it straight away. You've gone on to explain. I did every question on the app and so many mock tests. Yeah, 100%, not a problem. But you failed on questions you've never seen before. That's the reason why you need to understand it. So even though you've done questions, every question, every mock test, you didn't fully understand the safety factor. That's why when you got questions you never saw before, you couldn't work out what the safest option was. So you still need to do more mock tests, look at the categories you failed the questions in, and then go again. That's why when students come on here and say, I've passed, I got 48, I got 49, I always say you missed the magical 50 because you're aiming for 50. If you fall short of 50, you should fall over the line, i.e. 48, 47, 46. If you aim for 43, which is what you're talking about here, book it straight away, you fall short, you fall behind the line because 43 get 1 question wrong, you're now back to 42. So you're aiming for 50 out of 50. So if you fall short, you fall over the line. Do not aim to get just 43, if that makes sense. So my advice to you, Vitae, is look at the categories, go back, restudy the categories. Yes, you've done all the questions, but try to understand the safety factor. So when the questions come up that you have not seen before, you can still work out what is the safest option. That's where most students fail because they see questions they've never seen before. Oh my God, I've never seen it before. And they freak out rather than staying calm and think, hold on a minute, it's got this word in there, it's got this word in there, there's a link here, that's the answer it should be. So hopefully that helps you out and help everybody else. Yeah, never give up. Never give up. Because if you think about it, you want a driver's license, if you give up, you ain't going to get a driver's license. So your dreams are always on the other side of the fear. So you need to get through the fear. You need to get through the disappointment to get to your dreams. Your dream at this point is a driver's license. Never, ever give up on your dream. Because if you give up, you're never going to get it anyway. Someone else asked me that. I can't answer. I don't know you. I don't know what effort you've put in. I don't know what your studying style is like. So I can't help. You got to do you. You have to figure out what you're like, what information you retained. Passing mock tests is a baseline. So if you're passing mock tests on a regular basis, that's your baseline to say, yeah, you're good to go or not good to go. But I can't tell anyone how long to study for, because like I said, I don't know you. In the classroom, I see them every day. So I tailor the 2 hours I got with them to each individual person. That's how they can pass by the end of the week. But with me doing it over a live stream, I can't even talk to you. I can't tell you what's the best way to prep for that. That's fine. I prefer consistency. I see my pupils do it sometimes, 2 clicks, 1 click. I'm not a big fan, but as long as they're passing, I don't change it because they're not me. I'm consistent. That's just the way I am. So if I'm doing 2 clicks, I'm doing 2. If I'm going to do 3, I'll do 3. I feel odd just doing 1 click at any point because that's not the way I'm trained. That's not the way my mind works. But once my pupil understands and they're passing it, I don't care whether they do 1 click, 2 clicks. The main thing is they're passing. So you've got to do what's comfortable for you, because not one size fits all. Yeah, again, like I said, some people can pass just doing mock tests. I'm not a big fan of that. And the other thing I will say as well, no problem, Dolores. The other thing I will say as well is you need this for your driving. You guys, most of you, not all of you, let me just clarify that. Most of you are seeing this as a means to pass in to book a driving test, which is fine. You do need to pass it to book a driving test, but you need the knowledge for your driving test. Let me just quickly show you something as well. Hopefully it shows up on screen because it's not set up for the report sheet. Box 17. If you look at box 17, remember this is a driving test report sheet. This is what the examiner's got on his lap as you're driving around. Box 17, traffic signs, response. The first bit's response to traffic signs and signals. So it's got traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, traffic controllers, and other road users. Right? That's your theory test right there. Your blue circles, your red circles, your triangles. If your knowledge is weak, guess what's going to happen? He's going to mark it down on this. Now, it just depends on what level he marks it down. Whether it's a serious fault, which you're going to fail, which serious is a S. D is dangerous. Minors, you can still pass. You're allowed 15 minors. You need this for your driving test. So if it's solid, you save money in the long run because your driving instructor is not going to pull you up at the side of the road and talk to you about something you've already passed. But like I said, some of you just studying it, yeah, I just need to pass to be able to book my driving test. That's fine. But when you do your driving lessons, your knowledge is going to be weak. And if it's weak, you're going to spend more money because you're spending more time at the side of the road to talk about something that you've already done. If the knowledge is still weak, when you go for your driving test, the chances are you may fail because you don't know what road signs mean. You don't know what road markings mean, which means you don't know how to respond to it. You're trying to study it to understand it. So you pass the theory test first time, and hopefully you pass your driving test first time. You need this knowledge. It's not a case of passing it, park it, I don't need it again. You need it for the day of the driving test and your driving lessons. That's what you guys need to understand. Sorry, that's this one. Right, so any other questions before I sign off? Okay. I don't know who some people are, but I'm not saying I'm God's gift to theory training. That's what I do for a living. I'm telling you to do a 2-click method. If you want to go for 3 is acceptable. I would not be doing a 4-click. My camera's just gone again. I am still here. I wouldn't be doing a 4-click method. The question you got to ask yourself is, do you want to listen to some people or do you want to listen to someone who teaches it for a living? That's your decision. I can't make you make that decision. But all you want to do is jump on my YouTube channel, look at the comments and the amount of people saying the 2-click method help them pass. But that's where you want to go down to. I'm just giving you the advice. I can't make you take it. Clicking in a pattern means clicking like rhythmic pattern. So let's just say, for example, the 2-click method I'm talking about. Let's say as you go through the video, you clicked first, you done 1 click, and then you go 1, 2, click again, 1, 2, click again, 1, 2, click again. So the flags are spaced out almost evenly. That's what they call a clicking in a rhythmic pattern. Because obviously if you're clicking in a rhythmic pattern all the way through the video, at some point you are going to hit the 5s and 4s. So that's the reason why. So if the software picks up the flags are spaced out evenly across the video, they're going to kick you out. Yeah, so you got a bit of time before the 27th of December. Put the paperwork side by side. And like I said, look for common denominators. That's your weakest category, and go and restudy those before you go on the 27th. The only way to identify hazards is looking. That's what they're trying to train you to do. When you go in the car for the real driving lessons, you can see problems. The only way is to see the videos. But again, like I said on the video when I was doing it, look as far ahead on the video as you can see, and look from pavement to pavement. When you're driving in real life, you should be scanning from pavement to pavement, because road signs are on pavements. Cars are parked up on the left. Cars are parked on the right. When you guys are doing the videos, you drive tunnel vision. You just drive like that. So if the problem is outside of your tunnel vision, you're not going to see it until late. Royalty, welcome. I've not seen your name before. Again, you've got a bit of time left in terms of studying. I don't know what you mean by that. Why did I click immediately after the car moved, please? Which car? Damien, I'm assuming that you wasn't here at the beginning. All right, I'm still here. Hold on 1 second. Again, this is a dangerous... You guys are trying to take a shortcut to passing the theory test. What category appears the most in the theory test? Right, so if I said to you road signs, it isn't, by the way, this is for everyone, road signs isn't, but if I said to you, Damien, or for any of you who thought like this, road signs is the one that appears most, guess what you guys are going to go and do? You're going to study road signs. And then when you go for the real test, road signs only appeared once. So you studied road signs a hell of a lot for no reason. You have to study all the categories. So let me just quickly, I'm assuming you wasn't here at the beginning. Share my screen because it's still up. This is the mock test we just did. This gives you a breakdown of how it comes up. It's random. So if there's 10 of you in the room, there's 10 different mock tests going on. It's not the same mock test. It's never the same 2 mock tests. It's different every time. Just like the app throws up different questions every time. So this is a breakdown of the mock test that we did. Road and traffic signs 3, safety margins 2, vulnerable road users 4. It just throws it up. So there's no category that comes up the most. There's no category that comes up the least. So you have to study every single category to make sure your knowledge is strong. So no matter what category comes up, you are good to go. Thank you, Danny boy. There you go. He said, I tried 3, failed twice before I used this channel. Again, I can only give you the information. The information I'm giving you is not my opinion, right? The information I'm giving you is tried and tested. This is what I use with my students, and they go on to pass, and not something I'm just plucking out the air thinking, well, I think this would work. If it was me, I would do this. If it was me, I'd do that. This is what I use in the classroom with these guys. And I'll do this every single week. So all I'm saying to you, I'm giving you the information. You take whatever bits you need, because everybody is different. But if you're listening to someone who's doing 4 clicks, 5 clicks, the chances are you're going to fail. Because 4, 5 clicks on one problem is ridiculous. You're not going to do that on a real driving test. So why would you do it on the hazard perception? Hopefully I'll just demonstrate that. I'm going to do another video before I sign off. I want to catch up with these guys. Simply me sending some love to all of you guys. Again, I think I've done that one already. 2 hour days, 2 hours a day for 4 weeks is enough. That's down to the individual. If you've got a learning disability, 2 hours a day for 4 weeks doesn't mean to say you're going to be ready. It's got to be quality studying. You've got to take the information in. If you're taking no information in, you can study for as long as you want. If it's not sinking in, you still ain't going to pass. Everybody's different. So I would never turn around to say to someone, you need to study for this length of time. Again, the students that come in the classroom, I've got 10. This week, I've only got 8 hours with them because their test is on Thursday. Normally, we book it on Friday. So I tailor the training to each individual. As much as I do the slideshow on the TV, already that's 45 minutes to an hour. But then the second hour, I tailor the training to the individual because everybody's different. Because I can't turn around and say this person learns like this person learns like that, and use the same training technique. Otherwise, my pass rate for theory tests would be low. So it's individual. So if that works for you 2 hours a day for 4 weeks, that's fine. It doesn't mean to say it's going to work for somebody else. So you have to find out what's best for you. Some people like apps, some people read books. I recommend apps because I'm a visual person. App shows me visually. If someone said, hey, read the theory test book, I would struggle with that. My camera is really playing up. So let me just do a quick demonstration. Once my camera comes back on. Melody, at least you're excited. Nerves is a good thing. It's not a bad thing as long as the nerves don't control you. Yeah, I think my camera is going to give up. They changed my cable. So let me do a quick demonstration because you don't need me on screen for that. Let me just get the hazard perception up. Let's try one more time. Right, iPad. Right, you don't need me. Let me do a CGI so it's a little bit clearer. Let's do this one. That's real life on the CGI. Right, this one I've not seen before. There's no stars. So I'm doing this one live. So I don't know where the issue is. So with the bend coming up, it should be what if. If I can't see around the bend. Oops. Car's parked up on the left, so I'm going to need to move to the right. So I click. It's not CGI either, it's real life. And again, look into the distance. So there's a car on my side of the road, but it's moving. Got a car coming towards me, but the road's wide enough for both of us. Don't need to click. Telling me to slow down because there's cars up in the distance. I'm going to click for that. The van on the left. Another car parked up on the pavement. What's that? 4 out of 5. So review. Let's take a look. So it looks like it was the first one. Right, let me just quickly, again, this is a prime example. There's my first click. Hopefully you guys can see that. Too early, but again, I repeat, it's not about me seeing the problem. It's about me getting the score. And my second click gave me a 4. I think I even went for another 2. There you go. So that's a 1. And that's a 0. But they gave me the high score, which is a 4. But again, you've got to keep clicking because you don't know if it's the double hazard where you score a 10. Let me just show you something quickly. Let's see if it works. Because someone said they clicked 6 times. Don't know if I can find it again now. All right, let's do rhythmic. Just quickly before I sign off. My camera's going to pack up. Right, so slow moving traffic. I'm just going to keep clicking rhythmically every 2 seconds. That's way too many flags anyway. It's definitely going to kick me out. But that's every 2 seconds. See, it's even called me a cheat. Cheat detection system. You have responded to this clip in an unacceptable manner. You will score 0 for this clip. Avoid tapping many times in a row. So let's just review the clip back, see if I did get a score. That's right at the end. So technically that's a 5. So I got a 0 because I clicked too many times. Like I said, you can see the flags are evenly spaced out. So if you click too many times on a rhythmic pattern, it will kick you out. In this case, it's called me a cheat. But again, let me just do the same video if it's possible. It won't let me just go straight back in there. It won't let me do it. All right, let me just do another one and do it the way it should be done. Again, this one I've not seen before, no stars. So again, look in the distance, pavement to pavement. Got cars parked up on the left, so I'm going to click because I need to move back to the right. The car's got brake lights on in front of me. So it's caused me to slow down. I think I saw that late as well. It's hard to see. Four out of 5. Let's take a look. That's a big one as well. So there's my first click. 4. And I think the second one probably landed I still landed in the 4 anyway. They still I could have seen it sooner. I can't see anything there based on the video because it's too dark. But like I said, CGI is a lot clearer. But as I said, if you click on problems that exist, you're not going to have an issue because it should never have too many clicks. Let me just see what you guys are saying. I think I've done that when Melody's got tests on the 18th. Yeah, just do what I'm saying with those paperwork. Do the paperwork first, find out your weaknesses, and then go from there. Let me come out of this. There you go. Simping Me has explained herself. What does it mean if it's a 0 points on 2 clips? It means you got a 0. So 2 videos was a 0 for you. Yeah, so literally what it's saying to you, you got 0 marks on 2 videos. So it's a breakdown. So it gives you how many 5s, how many 4s, how many 3s, 2s, and 1s. Obviously the 0s, 1s, 2s, and technically 3s. You can't revisit it because obviously you don't know what videos you've got the 0s on, but it gives you an idea that you've got too many 0s, too many 2s, too many 1s. Because remember, you need to average at least a minimum of 3. If your average is 3, you're just about scraping 44, 45. Ideally, you want 5s and 4s to bring your average up to 50 plus. So that's what it means, right? That's the last comment on there. So I'm going to sign off before my camera shuts down again. A very enjoyable live. So I thank each and everyone for that. I will suggest you guys, first of all, stop stressing, especially about the hazard perception, the counting of flags, and all the rest of it. Remember, you're practicing. So even if you fail at home, it doesn't matter. You learn from the mistakes because remember, you're trying to master your skill. So when you go into the real test, you know exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're looking for. So failing at home is a good thing because you're going to learn from it, or you should learn from it. You don't want to fail on the real thing, but even if you did, it's still a good thing. You got a baseline. So don't stress about how many clicks. Take my advice, do 2 clicks. See a problem, click 1, 2, click again, and you should be fine. With the questions and how you study, that's down to the individual. I can't tell you how to study, but what I can tell you to do is do each category in turn. That's going to give you as much information as you need, maybe more, depending on how the questions fall on the day of the test. So for those of you that's got a theory test this week, I wish you luck with that. Please come back next week and let us know how you got on. Again, see, that's worked for you because you're autistic. Again, it may not work for everybody else. Me writing it out, I hate writing, full stop, hate typing, full stop. So it wouldn't work for me. Like I said, everyone's individual. You literally got to find what works for you. There's no right or wrong way. The only wrong way is 1, giving up, and 2, is not doing the work, because it's going to come back and bite you at some point. No problem, Reauthentic. You take care as well. So you guys have a good week, a safe week. For those of you who've got a test, please keep studying. Come back, let me know next week how you guys got on. And I've got my fingers crossed for all of you. Outside of that, I'll see you next Monday, which I got an announcement about the live. I was going to do it today, but we've gone well over time. So I'm going to make an announcement about the live and another course coming out, which I think may be beneficial to some of you guys as well. But I'll announce all about next week. So yeah, take care, and I shall see you next week.